ladies, let's get going. It's Woman to Woman, and we have a night of review of the best and the brightest. So we want to welcome you to our new Woman to Woman show with myself, the Queen Mama, Wanda Carter, and my big sister, Sandra Campbell. We have a wonderful guest for you on tonight, and her name is Mary Lashea. Welcome to Woman, Miss Lashea.
Hey,
Hey, just Mary. I'm just Mary. I'm doing so good, y'all. How you doing, Roxie?
Wonderful. Good to see you.
I am so happy about. I like the name of this show, Woman to Woman. Come
yes.
on.
That's Queen Mama there.
I like this name. Now,
We've been
y'all
doing
got
this
something
for a
going
while.
on.
A while. We've been doing it for a while. We like highlighting women because we do everything.
Yes.
We do.
Yes.
So, I got one question.
Yes, ma'am.
What made you do this, Roxie? Where did this vision come in? I mean, come on.
Mary, I think that our women have been really under acknowledged for the many contributions that we make to civilization. And this is our expression of making sure the world hears us roar. And this gives us a voice. This gives us a time to acknowledge and celebrate each other. So, Queen Mama came up with this idea for a woman to woman show years ago. And she's leaving legacy with the youngsters. So that's really what it's all about. Women, helping women, loving on women, and acknowledging the great contributions we make.
And we
I
have
love
so
it. Come
Speaking of
on.
which, Mary, we want to talk to you about the many things I see you moving and doing over there. You have become a young mover and shaker. Tell us a little bit about why you started your business.
Well, I started the business because I saw a deficit in just the finances and budgeting for Black women, the availability and even the resources about teaching women how to win with their money. And so I saw that there was a lack of it being taught to our young girls as well as even older women and how to win with their money through budgeting and through looking at their at what they have. And so many times women can be so hard on themselves. They hard on their image, they hard on how they look. Don't really want to have those hard conversations with why they impulse or why they're maybe why they buy what they buy or what is behind those different issues that they may have been facing. And it kind of goes and it spills over into your spending habits. And so a lot of times when you don't deal with the source of your insecurities, you find yourself going into a place where now I'm spending money on things. I'm just buying stuff to make me feel this void. And so I just felt like, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's get down to the basics and let's find out how can we help women win with their money by paying themselves first. Nobody taught me, and all of my 35 years, how to pay myself first. It sounds so simple, and you hear people, I've heard people say it, but no one ever taught me to think about myself enough to build wealth and leave a legacy for my youth. So I love the fact that you brought up women leaving legacy because the goal is to leave legacy for our children. And how do you do that? And I'm not talking about, hey, writing a book and all that, but we want to leave them with something that they can hold, something that they can hold. We want to come in and take over land, property, spaces, arenas to show that, single family homes, mothers in single family homes, children don't have to start off the way their parents did, or we're not starting from the basic no more. We're not starting from nothing. Every generation started from nothing. We're starting from a building block, and we're starting one paycheck at a time. So that's what I teach. I teach women how to win with their money by saving more money, making more money, and ultimately building wealth. That's the
teach.
goal.
Ooh, teach.
That's the goal.
What say you, Sandra? That's all right with me.
I think it's absolutely great. I'm so impressed that you're only 35 and you already have a plan. You're able to actually share that plan where the others can replicate it. I mean, that right there, starting early in your 35, 25. I mean, that right there is the main thing that changes the game. Because many times women don't start to, as you say, pay yourself or do what you need to do for yourself until they're well in their 50s or maybe 60, because they've taken care of their kids.
Yes,
They've
ma'am.
taken care of their kids. They facilitated their grandkids. Like you said, they paid, they did something for their mom, their sister, their brother. They never thought to stop and say, wait a minute, I've got them covered. Who's going to cover me?
Right.
Ooh, yes.
And then by the time they realize that there's no one to cover them, now they're scurrying, trying to condense what they should have been doing 25 years ago into 6 years. You know,
Oh,
then they start saying this job don't pay enough. You know, everything is broken. You know, this job ain't the right job. You know, I'm in the wrong place. I need to go out and do something. I need a hustle. You know. Whereas if you introduce it early, like it should be, like you're doing now, it's really, you kind of coast through it, you know. And yeah, you can still do a little bit for mom, you can still do a little bit for sister or brother, but you're already in the proper mindset that I must take care of myself and look out for myself, because as time goes on, I won't have, and the people that I'm helping, they still won't have. So where will I get it from?
That's
Okay.
Yes.
And the main thing is that we're focusing on single mothers who are single mothers led homes, okay? Because they have a deficit because they don't have a father who will build a legacy. I'll tell you a story that I am so honored to share with you guys about my grandfather, my great grandfather, about 4 times that I learned about. I didn't know him personally, but I'm so happy to know the story. So he was a cattleman in Louisiana. He was a sharecropper and a slave at one point. He ended up getting his way out, buying his own freedom and acquiring over 49 acres of land in Louisiana. Wow. And this land that he acquired, the 49, it was a total of 100 acres, but 49 of the acres he had for my mother's generation, which is his third generation of grandchildren. His 3 times generation of grandchildren, which is my mother's generation, it's 37 of them. They're all sharing 49 acres of land right now in Louisiana.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Wow.
That land has been my family for over 100 years.
Oh, wow.
Because of him and his legacy. Because of his legacy, we still have that land. And that land was for the great-grandchildren. It was not for my grandmothers. It was for my mothers and all of those children. All of the children from 4 children that he had. All of the offspring from his 4 children. From his 4 grandchildren. And I am like, you know, the Bible says a good man, a good father, a good man stores up wealth for his children. Mm-hmm. So because our father, a lot of single women have that deficit. They may not came from a father. They may came from fatherless homes. They may be raising children from a father in a fatherless home without fathers. How do they acquire wealth? How do they learn how to pay themselves first and build a legacy for their children? We're not trying to pass down Gucci bags and print and Jordans. We're trying to pass down land. We're trying to teach our children just what white women and white fathers, this is something that they did. They passed down. And the sad thing about it, our ancestors passed down land. They knew the value of land, so much so that I get to reconnect with this story, even in my own lineage, in my own family. And I'm so happy. I don't know him personally, never met him, but I thank God for a man to say, wow, this is what
and you know, Mary, I'm so glad you shared that story in this respect, because we're still dealing with a high population.
I can't hear you.
Roxie, can't hear you.
Roxie, your mic is muted.
Okay, TJ, type something.
Oh, goodness. Did I get muted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
All right.
Did you get me back?
Now we got you.
I think I muted myself. Please forgive me. Technology and me. I was speaking to the issue that we have a high percentage of two things. One, African American women who are single mothers raising multiple children, not just one anymore, but two or three. And they are dealing just with the same economic issues as our old single moms. But we also have an issue of women who are renting more than buying. And that's something, even as I do taxes and deal with wealth building, that's something that I am trying to change the mindset, because when you talked about the land, how can we pass something down that we haven't paid down on? And that is the mindset that I hope that in wealth building we change for our African American girls.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stop
Yes.
renting, start owning. Take your tax money and put it on a down payment for a house.
Yes.
Yes.
Then you don't have to live no place that somebody can put you out of.
That's right.
And even more so on that, and not just the down payment on the house. How about buying a house cash out, right and free? Forget
Talk
the
to
loan
me,
process.
sister. I like that. Yes.
Buy the home with cash. I will tell you stories of a young woman, and I mean, she's younger than me, and this story blew my mind. She was from Detroit. She took her tax money and did exactly what you did, what you said, sis, and went out there and bought a home, her first house, scot-free in Detroit, Michigan. I'll send you the link for her story as well. And she said God told her to do it again. She bought her first house with $10,000, a single mom, 20 years old, bought her first house.
Wow.
2 children, did it. I've never heard a story like that before. And not only did she do it one time, she said God told her to do it again. She now has 18 properties paid cash in full.
Whoa. Whoa.
$1 billion in a portfolio. I said, my God, I don't know one person that I can identify who was on food stamp welfare had decided to take their income taxes and do something like that. She does not own one home, no mortgages on no homes, and her children have a home that she can stay in.
Wow. That is wonderful.
That is another story that really just resonated with me and blessed my spirit. And I'm like, wow, we can do whatever we want to do.
That's right.
Put your mind to it. You really can. You really can. And put God first. Yeah, you can make it happen. And being obedient when he tells you to make that move.
There you go. You know,
And it says obedience is greater than sacrifice. And
Yes.
I want every African American woman to know, if you ever gonna be successful and wealthy, you gonna make a sacrifice.
That's right. That's right. You know, I'd be interested to hear from TJ in terms of how you view women in business. Do you have any perception about how that should work?
I believe you're not going to mute your mic. I believe that it's the same concept. As long as you have the drive to be successful, as long as you have the drive to help somebody with your business, or your business is one that is aiding people and being and just promoting your people, it's an amazing thing. And it doesn't matter at this point in time.
Did we lose him? Did I lose everybody? Okie dokie. I think I did. Hold on now. Let's see. I don't know what I did.
And we noticed.
I'm not in my regular space. I'm in my mother's house, and it has a bad reception. I'm so sorry.
No problem. Can you all hear now?
Yes.
Because I lost connection. I don't know what happened. But so where do we pick up? Roxie, Sandra, where did we
Yeah,
go off?
well, I don't know where Miss Mary was, but she's such a multifaceted entrepreneur that we can pick right up here. I met Mary at a time that she was building, she was our personal stylist. She taught you, how to style yourself on a budget. She even took your budget and showed you what you could do with yourself for that amount of money. And in a small way, it's just good to see her branch out and begin to train and teach other women. And I love her for this reason, that whatever she has, she gives it away and she multiplies and duplicates herself. I think I know more about what colors are my 5 colors and how to shop and how to put myself together because there was a Mary Lashea. Mary, I want to ask you tonight if there would be some kind of advice you would give to a younger woman, because I see most of our young women spend a whole lot of money on clothes, and they can't. They let me say it this way: they buy what they want and beg for what they need. They'll buy a whole lot of clothes and then not have their rent money and not have their car notes or fall behind on things. If you were to suggest a better a better habit of spending money, what would it be for a young woman?
Well, and I'll make it even more niche. This will be for a young woman who wants to go into being an entrepreneur, more in a young business owner who is starting her brand. I'm gonna go that specific. As a young business owner, your brand is your business. And so when you're creating your brand, you need a business branded wardrobe, which I like to call a BBW. You need a business branded wardrobe, okay? And this business branded wardrobe consists of, you need 3 components to create a business branded wardrobe. And number 1 is you need a color palette. You have to pick a color palette that goes with your business logo. It should not be any colors in the rainbow. It should go with your logo. So that color can be one of your pop colors in your logo and maybe 3 other neutral colors, or 4 or 5 colors where you have 2 pop colors and then 3 neutral colors. The second thing you need a signature piece. That is a wearable garment, a wearable piece. It can be your glasses. It can be a hat like what I got on, which is one of my signature pieces, is a hat, as well as any wearable item that you just love to have. It can be a brooch, a scarf, whatever that signature item is. When you show up in it. Wherever you go, you show up in it. The last thing you'll need is 2 styles of shoes. Make it simple. Life is too hard to not make life simple. So 2 styles of shoes, one for summer and one for winter. And just keep it basic. But why do you need a business branded wardrobe? Roxie, I'm glad you asked.
Well, why? You talking about BBW? Watch your tone, youngster.
You need a business branded wardrobe because it saves time. You got enough problems solved, and your wardrobe should not be one. Okay, your wardrobe shouldn't be it. It shouldn't be what you spending the most time on. You need to get dressed, get out, and connect and build your business.
I agree. I agree.
Number 2, your business branded wardrobe, it is going to save you money. Okay. Why? Because wherever you go up, you don't have to be ready. You don't have to get ready. You already ready to close the deal. You're ready to close the deal. You got 6 or 7 garments, and it's like a uniform. You're able to go through your closet. Every time you go in your closet, you're not worried, you're not wasting time. And when it's time for you to get dressed, you're always in style. No matter the event, no matter the networking event, no matter the business contract, the business meeting, you're already ready. Okay? The difference between owning a business and going to a job or having a job interview is that you get to decide your wardrobe. You get to decide if you want to have a relaxed brand. You don't have to get buttoned up in a suit and a tie. You can say, hey, I have a more relaxed brand and I want to wear jeans and a hat. Or if you want to have a more of a casual brand, it's up to you. But you decided based on your logo and based on how you want to be perceived. And that when you establish your business brand, wardrobe, you establish your brand. Just like we know those golden arches, the world needs to know you. We know those golden arches, the world needs to know you. And I have one of my favorite, my recent book that I wrote called How to Slay on a Budget. It is available now at yesshesaves.com, the platform, teaching women how to win with their money and teaching them how to get on code with a business branded wardrobe.
Right.
Oh, that's new conversation for me.
I like that. Yeah.
So yeah. So we
Brand
talk about all of
yourself.
that. As well as I also have my Yes She Saves saving program and YouTube channel where we have like a community of sheroes who are building we talk about ways to save money in the house, ways to make money at home. We are like the home, get the ways to get out of debt. We are conquering so much so. One of my superpowers is saving money. I like to make money. And I like to make money.
She said that's one of her superpowers. Come on, girl, with your bad stuff, saving money. Now you know some folks don't even understand what you talking about. Saving money. Go with yourself.
What my sister say, we are tired of what we tired of everybody begging for what they need.
No, buying what you want, begging for what you need.
Okay. Girl, come on. If this
and in 2021, I want to see our young African American women boss up, meaning having your own money. It's great if you have an incredible husband, boyfriend, or situation where that someone is contributing to your bottom line. But it's even better when you know who you are, you know how you're supposed to look, and you can do that thing all by yourself. Yeah. I'm not saying that you're arrogant. I'm just saying that you're free. And I want to see women live a life of being free in their wealth, free in their health. We are challenged, Mary, because I'm around wealthy women, but they're unhealthy mentally and physically. They're unhealthy. What do you say? What say you, I should say, to a woman who is building wealth, but she's doing so much to build that wealth that she's not taking care of herself?
Well, your health is your wealth.
That's right.
That's the pillar of your wealth. That's the top one. If you're not looking at ways to change your diet, ways to build up that stamina to keep going, you are the engine behind the business. And so when you stop, everything stops.
There you go. And that's the way that we live with Mary.
You gotta refuel that. So one thing I do talk about is meal prepping and how important it is. A lot of people will tell you that meal prepping doesn't affect you, but meal prepping is the number one thing. It's 80% of your diet. The workout is only 20. But when you get your meal plan together and you get your portion sizes together, you can save a lot of money and a lot of time. And a lot of time in the kitchen just by prepping your days and getting out here. I love a green smoothie. I'm finding ways to get my veggies in and to cut out so much of that meat and to cut out so much of the dairy. I'm finding ways to do that because I want to stay fit. I want to stay energized. And one thing I noticed is when you put in the wrong food, you feel you are sluggish. You can't move. You can't process the way you need to. And we need to win. We have to win over that too. And we do that by making sure that we are prepping and planning our food, getting more gluten-free, just looking at this movement. I love the plant-based movement and the fact that we're becoming more conscious as a society of what we're putting in our food. But we definitely need some of our older, more wiser people to show us how to garden, how to get in the, how to create a garden, how to grow our own food, because we need the healthiest, the most purest form of our food today.
That's true.
So that's
Very
something
true.
That's true.
that's something that
And
I'm
so,
looking.
Mayor, I talked to Dr. Mason maybe a week ago, and he was suggesting to African American women to consider plant-based diets. You know how I feel about it. You asked me to give up a sirloin or a T-bone steak. I just arrived at the steak table. And I realized that building wealth comes with choices. And just like dieting and anything else, it's the choices that we make as African American women. What would you say is the first few steps, since we're talking about building wealth? What would you say are the first few steps that every woman should take in trying to begin the journey of saving money? Because you say that's your superpower. I'm amazed at that one.
Well, the first step you should take is you have to first get to your why. And that goes with your health plan, that goes with any plan. Decisions do decide your wealth, but you have to decide your why. That's your reason. Once you have a reason for everything you do, you need to make a declaration for yourself to say, and for your family, and for what you want, and what will motivate you. What are you going to stop doing? And what are you going to start doing? And why are you doing it in the first place? When you know your why, you are not focused on what the barriers, it's gone, because you know why you're doing it. And I love when people say, oh, you know what, my mom is my why. My mom has she is facing type 2 diabetes, and my goal for eating better is to show her that she can too. And I know that if we can do it together, just to show her, hey mom, I'm doing it with you. You don't have to do this fast by yourself. If we say, hey, no meat this month, we're going. Let's try something new. Let's go to a vegan restaurant. Let's try something new, and just incorporating that, but just letting her know, Ma, you too young to stop now. We're gonna win this. And so that's like the biggest thing for me. And that was my biggest motivation, was like, I don't want my mom to leave this earth. And I don't want any of these plagues or diseases that's in this world to stop her from knowing that she can win this battle. This is all this is, and it checked me early, and I'm like, hey, if my food is if my belly, what I desire inside, what I'm putting in is affecting me so much, it's time for me to take the authority over it, because we have the authority over everything. God gives us dominion and power with him. And not to be too churchy, but I love faith, and I put it to work. And I don't just believe that you should just say it. I believe you should take those action steps. So the first step to building saving is to say your why. The second step is to know who you're doing it for and what you're giving it up. If you're doing it for yourself, nothing's wrong with that, baby. Do it for yourself. But if you got a bigger calling and you want to do it for somebody else, my God, I love it. I love it. That's going to push you forward, and you're going to know. So every day I look and I'm like, hey, Mom, doing this for you. I'm not stopping. I want to see the paycheck to paycheck cycle end. I saw my mom go through so much as an educator, lose her pension. And now I'm like, Mom, I'm doing this for you. I'm not doing this for me. This one is for you. So that's it. That's what made me save. And for the several years, I've been able to save tens of thousands of dollars each year on a minimum wage income as well, and go out and start the business, pay off debt, settle debt.
Mary, I'm moving in with you, because like you just said now, on a minimum wage income, to save that kind of money, I mean, that is really phenomenal. Because I know people who really make very, 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 very good money. And I'm going to tell you, to a varying degree, they are living paycheck to paycheck. Because I can tell you, The rule is you should have what, 3 months of your rent or mortgage saved up at all times.
I
Somebody
don't,
else,
I don't teach that. I tell
yeah, yeah.
people you need 50% of your income saved,
And
baby.
see, and
Every time,
they're not
50%.
doing that, right? They're not even doing that. They're not able to do that, like you said, because of their lifestyle. And I
Yeah,
mean, sometimes, and I've seen them, and I've been with them. A couple of them are my cousins, and I've been with them, and I've seen how they spend. And I'm wondering what is motivating the spending, because it isn't anything that I think that person needed. I don't
yeah,
even know why they wanted it. I don't know if they just, they just buy, like you said, they're not happy.
yeah,
So they're trying to fill a void.
yes,
And
yes.
I see a lot of that. So how do you get the person, or how do you reach that person and tell that person, hey, like you said, why? Because I've asked the same thing. Well, why are we buying? Why are you buying this? And oh, well, this is something I want to. I think I deserve it. Why do you don't even use it? I'll talk with them 3-4 months later. The thing is still in the bag by the front door.
Well, you know what? We are supposed to be examples to one another. So a lot of times you don't have to say anything to them. Like with my mom and the eating and more on the health part of it. Don't want to switch. I'll talk about, but and on the finances, because I know so many people in my family that do the same thing. They live paycheck to paycheck. They spend every dime they got, and they call in the bed. They got their hand out.
How do I know that so well?
The thing about it is that when you call, when they call me now and they like, oh, what's going on? How you doing? What you got going on? And you start telling them, and not bragging, not in a bragging way of how you're on a budget. Hey, I'm on a budget, and hey, I'm doing these things and I'm saving. That's the first thing. And then you start hyping that up about yourself, because a lot of times we get on the phone and we allow our family members to come on there, and they like, oh, they want to tell you all about the stuff they spent, but we don't want to tell them about how we're saving, how we're winning with our money. And then, oh, turn
Correct.
that conversation around, because then they're going to start looking at the fact, well, dang, let me think about this. I had my mom, she was just like, oh, you know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and save. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put up $200. I think I'm gonna put away this stimulus check. I said, you really gonna do that? I can't believe this now. Because my mom would like to spend, and something nice and shiny come by. She might get it. But that's okay. That's okay. But I was like, okay, Ma, let's just start with, when you get change, start small. And she was just like, you know what, you're right. I said, Mom, if you save 50 cents a day, 53 cents, I have a nickels and dime challenge that we're doing with our
Oh
family.
yeah. Oh, say that, because I have a 27-year-old, and I said I'm not going to ask you to do nothing but save a quarter a day. But there's 365, and if you count it up, you done saved yourself some Christmas money.
Yes.
So I think getting back to making people appreciate the pennies that you see, because pennies equal dollars. And if you don't know how to manage those dollars, you're not going to know how to manage your cents. Because, we started on cents first.
Yes. It
And
starts
even
that
in
small.
dating, I'll share this with the ladies. I'll never, I can't say his name, but I'll never forget the cat that taught me a real lesson about saving. The guy was in school. We were both in school. I'm gonna share this, and he took me out on a date, and we were at, I think, the Old Country Buffet, if there's still one, Old Country Buffet. And I was so infatuated with them that I was scared to tell them, I prefer to go to Longhorn or someplace down the road. And what I did, it taught me a lesson. And I want to teach this lesson tonight. I told him, our next date, could we go to Longhorn? And he said that Friday, it wasn't in his budget, so we would not be able to go to Longhorn.
Okay.
And I got an attitude. Darn near quit the guy. Thought he was just too cheap. You gonna take me to Old Country Buffet and that's where I'm gonna stay from now on? I don't think so. And I look at this young man now. He has his own painting business, 3 houses, 4 cars. Who laughed at that? But I said that to say this. If you run into people and they are sure about their budgets and their money to the point that they are able to tell you that is not within my budget, we cannot do that, you better look at that person a little differently, because that says that they do master self-control and have self-goals and that they have a greater in store for themselves. So I just want to share that with the young ladies that think if they're not taking you to Longhorn and down to the signature room, they cheat.
Okay. Just because I'm on a budget don't mean I'm broke.
Oh yeah, and he wasn't ashamed to tell me, just not, he never said I couldn't go. He said I couldn't go that Friday, and he never said that, he didn't really even get all in a huff. But like he said, it wasn't in his budget. And I think that's a healthy conversation if you're ever going to have great men in your life, that they put you at the level that they can afford so that you don't get beside yourself. And that leads me to that thing that we have too many of our women who are spending, Mary, and they're they're making their houses upside down because these fools won't stop spending.
Well, we start off in a defect because we're not taught saving and financial literacy at an early age. So
True.
We're starting off late. We're taught, just like I was taught. Go to work, and you make your own money so nobody can tell you what to spend it on. You made money to spend your own money. That's what I was taught. I wasn't taught to make money, save money. And I love this principle because I'm such an advocate. I've been dove right into this financial. It's something in me. Like, I love it. I eat it every day. And I've been doing it about 4 years now when I got on the journey. And I don't know. It's taken a new toll over my life, but I'm thankful. But one thing I learned, and I was listening to, I think it was Magic Johnson. No, it wasn't Magic Johnson. It was Shaq. It was Shaquille O'Neal. He had $1. He said he was in a meeting with a wealthy man, and the man said, he asked the man, "How do you build wealth? What do you need to do to build wealth?" And he said, "Well, if I gave you this $1, what would you do?" And so he's like, "Okay, I would just put it, I would just I'll go and buy something with it." He said, "No, if you gave me that $1, I'm going to spend, the key to wealth is I'm going to spend 1/4 of that $1 on whatever I want. The 75 cents is going into the savings to make me money every time." So when we think that we're not teaching our kids that small principle, we give our children money and we tell them, "Baby, buy what you want." We don't even tell them, put something away. We'll even tell them, because my mom is one of them. She's a good Christian woman. My God, I love her. Thank you, Jesus. She's a good Christian woman, but she'll tell me, put that 10%. Make sure you get 10% of that money to God. But she won't tell me to get 10% to myself. She won't even tell me to put up 20% to myself. See, we're out of order. God never told us not to put up nothing. He ain't never told us. See, we got slave Bible. I ain't gonna go there. We got the Bible to say, give it all to the white man. Give him the 90. So we get paid, get 10% to Jesus. Give it to the church now, so they can build their house. And you wondering why you broke in the church house. You in the church house, you don't own nothing. But the pastor own everything. The devil is a lie. We out of order.
I'm telling you, his Jaguar is shiny.
We out of order. We out of order.
Us tonight. His Jaguar is shiny detail. Yeah. And what is amazing about you, Mary, you'll say what we think.
That's true.
It's amazing that, if it doesn't make dollars, baby, it doesn't even make sense.
There you go.
It doesn't.
And we have to stop teaching that type
Nonsense.
of
We got to
to
stop
our
teaching
children. We
nonsense.
have to
Yes.
stop grooming our children into making everybody else rich, and we don't have nothing for ourselves. And God, that's not Bible at no point.
Right. And you know, even when you speak to Bible, yes, the creator did say that, you know, there will be poor amongst us always, but Mary, he never said we had to be the poor. And the only way that you can understand how not to be the poor is to manage your money and be a good steward over the money that he sends your way.
And he
And
also said that he became poor so that we could be rich. He told
what?
you
What?
that you didn't have to be rich, but that's the part they ain't gonna tell you that.
Well, I'm glad you breaking news. Breaking news, Mr. K. You know,
See, I came
All
from
right,
the
Mary.
church house.
girl, Mary,
I was
Mary,
broken
you would
in
have to
church
have the name, right?
You got the right name, honey. You got the right name.
Yeah. But Mary, seriously, as we are coming into 2021, you know, I love that you give simple steps to a bigger idea. When I see the young ladies who are getting their tax returns now, you're saying for every dollar they should put up 75 cents.
Yeah, so 75% as well as at least 50%. So
Okay.
if you want to be rich, he said put up 50% of every dollar, 50 cents
Right.
of each dollar. But if you
Right.
want to be wealthy, the wealth key is 75% of each
Oh,
dollar.
gotcha. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And
I
so
got
that's the principle of your income. When you make income, you're supposed to be saving, and that's where I got the 70-30.
Yeah.
70%, you want to get to that level, whatever
Right.
that stride is, to
Right.
where you're living on less. You're living on 25 to 30%, but
Right.
you're saving 70% of your income is
Correct.
going to save. And if we don't get nowhere else, at least 50-50, 50%
Right.
going to save it and 50% going to your expenses. And that's everything. That's housing. That's everything under your
Yeah.
umbrella. One thing that life has taught me life taught me is that we can do it as African American people, as women.
Mhm.
We have the tools to do it because we know how to make do with whatever they give us, and they never gave us a lot. So that's why I say it's a lie that you don't know how to save. You know
Mhm.
how to save. You just didn't apply it intentionally.
Correct. I agree. I
You know
totally
how to
agree.
save because every Black person that has ever been indoctrinated in slavery or any type of so much just trials, things like that. I can't get the right word right now. But anyway, if you are, you know how it is to make something out of nothing. And
Right.
that is when I became unemployed, my income went to 50%. I was not making my total wages. And
Mhm.
guess what happened?
Mhm.
I learned how to make it work.
You know
I
what?
made it do
And
what
I'm
it
glad
did.
you brought that piece up because as
So
I
that
was
was the
growing,
mindset.
as I was growing up, Mary, my goal was to, when I was working, my goal was to always have 6 of my paychecks to the side, just in case. My grandmother used to say it's gonna be a rainy day. But
Yes.
even through this time of COVID, I didn't know it rained quite like this, man. It poured, okay? And even six weeks of your salary, you know, isn't just enough to truly sustain you through a pandemic. But I am just shocked that and shook that this pandemic showed that people who you thought were saving weren't saving money, none. And they now are dependent on an outside entity to sustain them through this crisis. And once
And
we
don't
come out of this, I watch the government that is funneling money into the pockets, but I'm also seeing them at Walmart, the Best Buy, and down the street and around the corner. And I'm wondering from a personal perspective, how do you change that mindset of always being the consumer to saying that, this is time that you need to think about what you can produce, what you can do to earn income even without a job. How can you move into an entrepreneurial area in your life where even if you spend $2 over there, you got $10 coming at you. So you really only out 8. I mean, we're just not doing the math.
No, we're not. And we're not taking advantage of the sad thing about it. We're not taking advantage of all the money, the money that has been poured out for so many people who have lost their jobs, as well as just receiving the stimulus. And we're not reinvesting that because we may not get it again. This was, they said the swine flu was 100 and something years ago before the last national pandemic. We may not see this again for 100 years. We may not be around. You know what I mean?
I could miss it. Well, I just want, and we want tonight to try to get smart. Where can we start tomorrow? I'm going to take $1 and I'm going to get 4 quarters and I'm going to see how many times I can put that stuff in. That's it.
You can start tomorrow with a plan. Come together with your family, your children. How can you take that stimulus check and put away a portion of that, put away 50% of that and get you an emergency fund. One person said, and I don't think it's enough, but so many people don't have $1,000 saved in a savings. Even before the pandemic, they said 80% of Americans had less than $400 in a savings.
Right.
That's a problem. That was before the pandemic.
Right. I had a young lady to ask me, Roxie, do we have any Black banks or any more Black credit unions? Because even when they think to save, they have to put their money in a bank. And they're saying, well, they're charging me all these fees that even when I'm trying to save, they're constantly taking money out of the money I'm squirreling away. Is there another way to do it? And I still use envelopes. I don't know what's wrong with people. I mean, it's amazing.
Cash-based envelope system. Cash-based envelopes are amazing for helping you stick to your budget. And that is a great way to start. For me, that is one of the motivations where I go to the bank. But having a savings account, you just need a checking account, and maybe you want to get 2 or 3 checking accounts, one that you don't touch because you want access to it. And savings accounts, some of the savings accounts, they can have different fees and maintenance fees that may be a little less, but a personal banking checking account is from your regular, Chase or any bank would suffice. That doesn't charge you as much fees.
Right.
They have a lot of no fee checking accounts out there now. Yes. Much more than what they had 5 years ago, I can say. And not to even give them a whole lot of play, but even the one what is it, Chime, Ally, because they're the kinds that they're web-based. Yeah. And again, the local ones, I can tell you the big 5 here have no fee, no limit, no fee bank accounts or checking accounts. All they want you to do is to do some kind of direct deposit.
Yes.
And you're good to go.
Deposit, and you set it up to where you automate it to where you have the 50%
right
to the one account, and then you have your other 50% sent to the second account, which is your expense account. And then now you can say, hey, maybe I want to do another. I want to see about having a housing account. Separate those accounts.
Right. And I agree with you, Ms. Lashea. We always have more talk than we have time. But the one thing that I do want to put out there about our banking systems, and it should have a light bulb go on for people, because as I move through a certain financial bracket, I no longer, I have a personal banker, and they assist me, whether it's my son's tuition, whether it's buying a new car, whether it's buying a new house. And I don't think African Americans have really recognized the difference that building wealth makes in the response that the banks have to you when you walk in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's evident. You're correct about that, because they don't. they pretty.
I don't know too many Black people that have personal bankers anymore. I do, but
No, we don't.
still, you know what I'm saying? Whether the bank is willing to assist you in home purchases, assist you with your son or your daughter's
Yeah.
wedding, assist you
Yeah.
with a purchase of a car. And that has been a white privilege that we are just now tapping into.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up because one of the services out, which is still in the financial realm, is that I walk people through the process of getting their loan docs. So if they decide to purchase a home, we go over their docs. I'm a notary signing agent outside of the work that I do with finance.
You bad, girl. You just
I
bad.
notarize, and I'm at the closing with women, first time home buyers, investors, cash buyers, when they're closing the deal to make sure that the loan amount and everything is in order, and just helping the buyer understand what they're signing. And so that's critical. I think to your point, Roxie, that we need people that we who are trustworthy, who will have our back. And if something is not printed well, said well, that we go to the mortgage loan lenders and we're able to say, hey, can you go over this? Let's make sure these things are said, printed well, documented well, and that the buyer understands. So many times buyers go and sign documents that they don't understand.
Right.
And that is a recipe for a disaster. It's a recipe for that. And so one way that I want to help us as we acquire and build wealth and start taking what's rightfully ours, you know, is to understand that, just to make sure that knowledge is passed down and that knowledge is there, and that you have options. There's no one way to do anything in this world. And that's the thing that a lot of African, that's what makes us, is what's keeping us behind, is that we don't believe we have other options. We're told that we need to go get student loans. We're told that we need to get a mortgage. We're told that we need to spend every dime we got. We're told these things, but we're not told that there's other options. There's other options to paying for schools. You don't have to go into hundreds and $1,000s debt. It's other options to getting a home. You don't have to do that. There's other options. You can get an underwriter. There are other options. And so it's just not rice and beans and rice.
Yeah.
We gotta know. And that's the point of freedom.
Okay. Well, go on. We're very proud of what you're doing. And Wanda will put your information up so that people who want to use your services or reach out to you for more information will be able to find you. Queen Mama, do you have any final thoughts?
Look, I'm just so impressed with what she's done and what she's doing. And I've taken my lesson from you today. I will be, just trying to do the best I can with my budget. I'm going to try my budget because I think that is very necessary. We do need to put a budget together and stay in line with that budget. Thank you.
And to help, please check out, we have so many great digital products to help you out. We get on a basic budget for any person. It's called the She Budgets and Save binder. It's a financial binder with planners to where you can start to review, where did my money go at this month? How do I set up a basic budget? All of that is digital products that you can start your digital binder. And print those things off. I do have a copy, but it's in the back. But on my platform, we and in our savings group that we have called Yes She Saves, we're on Instagram. We do live sip and saves every Saturday.
I have to come in on one.
Yes,
give us the schedule.
I just want you to know that, like, I am personally asking you, sis, to come in and allow me to interview you with the ladies. We'll come up with a topic that you want to share.
6 streams of income. No, I'm just teasing.
How you're building wealth in the Black. We'll talk about in the Black business, and I would love to interview you on when should you leave your 9 to 5. I already know. I would
Well,
love
woman to woman, you got it. Sandra, you have any final thoughts on Miss Mary Lashea?
Yes, I'd like for you to hold up your book again and
yeah.
show the title of that before we leave. Also hoping that you will give Wanda information for we can actually have a link that goes to your book and a link to your sip and save. That would be
Oh,
phenomenal
that's
to
Yes.
share. 'Cause you provided so much information and some really encouraging information. That yeah, I'm sure your link will be used a lot once we
Yeah.
put the word out there.
Yes.
Yes,
Because
and I'm on Yes She Saves for YouTube as well, where I share a lot of my debt-free journey.
I see.
And we have like pre-recorded, but the live sip and savers on Instagram only, and that
Okay.
comes on Saturday. And we try to get some amazing women, everyday women who are changing their lives and building wealth. And so, Roxie, you're personally invited. We gonna sit down and make this happen as soon as
Okay, I
possible.
got you.
I can't
Well,
wait.
ladies, like I
I
said, we
can't wait.
always
Thank
have
you.
more talk than we have time, but this has been a very full discussion. I'm so glad, and we'll have you on again, Mary. I'm so
Definitely
glad.
be able to have her back. Yes.
Yes, for your sharing, because I think it's going to make a difference in the direction that the next woman thinks to go. And again, this is the dialogue that gets the discussion moving. This is Woman to Woman. I'm Roxie Williams signing off, saying thank you for joining us, and please stay tuned.
All right. Thank you. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.